Ethan was lying awake in his room long after midnight when he heard a strange tapping sound in the hallway of the apartment. Everyone else was asleep, but Ethan just couldn't close his eyes that night. The sound seemed to come from different places, sometimes from behind the wall, sometimes right outside his door. Curiosity got the better of him, and he slipped out of his room quietly. His bare feet felt the coldness of the floor as he moved toward the end of the hallway. Most of the lights in the apartment were off, except for a faint emergency light that barely lit the corridor. At the end of the hall, he noticed a black, old doctor's bag sitting in front of a door. On top of it, there was a small note, "Welcome to Midnight Hospital." Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. The bag seemed to open on its own, and from inside emerged a pale woman in an old-fashioned doctor's coat. Her eyes were hollow and white. Ethan wanted to scream, but no sound came out. The woman reached out her hand, saying, "Welcome to the Midnight Hospital, Ethan. We've been waiting for you." Ethan froze, backing away slowly, but somehow the apartment hallway began to stretch endlessly in front of him. No matter which door he opened, he found himself staring into a hospital room. These rooms were empty, but sometimes he saw old, ragged dolls lying on hospital beds. Each doll seemed to be watching him with lifeless eyes. Terrified, Ethan started running down the hallway, but it just went on without an end in sight. Finally, he saw a large door. He opened it and found himself in an old, dark hospital. A sign on the wall read, "Lost Children's Ward." The hospital looked completely abandoned, peeling paint on the walls, cobwebs in the corners. But the most unsettling part was the tiny handprints covering the walls, as if many children had been trapped here. Ethan tried to turn back, but there, at the end of the corridor, stood the terrifying woman doctor again. "This is your new home," she said with a sinister smile. "You can't escape us anymore." Ethan froze for a moment, then broke into a run, but the hospital corridors twisted into an endless, confusing maze. Every door he opened led to another trap. Watching eyes, echoing taps, and eerie whispers followed him wherever he went. At last, Ethan collapsed from exhaustion. Shadows began to close in around him, slowly pulling him in. At that moment, the hospital doors slammed shut, and all the lights went out. Ethan was never seen again.